big plays. Tied up, splits the double with 8. This is going to get a shot off. He's got it! Are you kidding me?
Yo, it's your boy Scotty, and I'm joined with somebody who I'm honored to have here, Brad Smith of the PLL Whip Snakes, the Maryland Whip Snakes. Brad, how we doing, brother?
We are good, Scotty. The honor is all mine. Thanks for having me, man. Great to be here.
Dude, I gotta give my boys from Jersey more love than any other state because Jersey deserves the love. Like, tell these guys that Jersey probably produces the best lacrosse players.
Without a doubt, man. Jersey has a long line of legends that have gone on to play in the college, be studs in college, and then even on to the pros. And one thing I think that sets Jersey apart the most, the Tournament of Champions. So you got the Curse brothers working hard to keep that going, but one of the only states that crowns a sole champion each season. So I know a lot of other states will stop at, the group championships, but Jersey's been doing that for a while, and shout out all the Curse brothers for keeping that going.
For keeping it going. Yeah, did you ever have a TOC championship?
No, we did not, sadly.
Okay.
We got kind of close my junior year, but no, never quite won the TOC. But.
Yeah, it's so tough in the TOCs because this is when we thought we were legit too. In my senior year, we got into the TOCs, bro. We got worked by Ridgewood.
Yeah, that'll happen. Like you think you're, shaping up good to make a run or something, and then the day comes and they're just, better team at that point. My junior year, we lost to Summit in the second round of the TOC, and we were feeling good going into the game. They ran their classic like zone man combo defense and just absolutely shut us down. Like I think we scored maybe 5 goals the whole game, and it was it's a tough way to go out. But yeah, that'll happen definitely. Jersey's got some serious talent, and
they got some serious ballers. I'll just name a couple off the top of my head. We got Brad, we got Colin Curse, Connor Curse, Scott Royster, Cole Curse. We got all those guys. So yeah, Jersey just produces the best of the best, bro.
Yes, we do.
We know what we're talking about. And last thing about Jersey before I go off, ISP, bro.
Yeah.
ISP. Yo, do you remember? It might have. When did you graduate high school?
2015.
Do you remember? It was your junior year, a bench clearing brawl at ISP.
I was not there, but I definitely remember hearing about it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because it was against my team. Mountain Lakes versus Immaculata, yo.
Yes. I do remember that. Yeah.
You lucky you weren't there, bro, because I would have showed you what's good.
Yeah. Squaring up.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah. ISP, that everything happened at ISP. I spent more Friday and Saturday nights at ISP in my life than I have anywhere else.
Yeah, that place is the spot to be pre-lax season. But let's get into it. So for you guys listening, Brad is coming back from injury. Brad, what was that injury? What was it, man? You were gone forever. Tell me about it.
So long story short, I had a cartilage transplant underneath my kneecap. So had cadaver cartilage put basically in to like lubricate my knee. The problem was every time I bent my knee, every time I like planted hard on my kneecap was like crashing into the top of my femur. And when your body's defense mechanism, when you got two bones colliding like that, is to like shut off the muscle. So you kind of lose function of your quad. So anytime that would happen, I'd try to like take the next step in running or anything, and my whole leg would just shut off. Couldn't really control it. And it was like having a dead leg. So that's the short answer, but it kind of goes a lot more in depth than that.
I bet. I mean, you've been battling injuries, right? You had a foot injury to begin your PLL career, correct?
Yep, coming out of college, had that foot that I hurt in my senior spring at Duke, and played the last couple months of that season with the broken foot, and then hoping to get into the PLL right after our season. And the doctors were kind of like, "Hey, buddy, you got to pump the brakes a little bit. Like, your foot's in pretty rough shape here." So sat out that first year with the PLL, and that took a while to heal just because of where it was on the foot, and then came back, made the my PLL debut at the COVID bubble, that tournament in Utah.
And with the knee injury, was that like a wear and tear injury, or did that happen suddenly?
A little bit of both. So we're going back now to 2023 season. So two PLL seasons ago, I showed up feeling great, in great shape, no real problems with the body at all, and got through most of training camp. We were in our scrimmage the week leading up to the first game there, and I planted while I was dodging, and felt something really off. I kind of felt that my leg muscle shut off, like I was explaining before. And after that, I couldn't run at all. Like my whole leg was kind of sore. My knee joint didn't feel great. So after that happened, I got an MRI of my knee, and MRI came back. There was a lot of swelling, inflammation, of course, but the main thing that was giving me problems were two cracks in my cartilage, like one square on from the front behind the middle of my kneecap, and then one down below my whole knee joint at the top of my leg bone there. And the doctor was like, "Hey, the way it is right now, like, these are two independent cracks in your cartilage. So if they don't get any worse, you'll be fine. We don't have to repair them or anything. Just got to kind of monitor it, make sure you're recovering well, and treating it like the injury it is." So sat out for the first half of that season, doing a lot of PT during the week, trying to get back into shape, get confidence in the knee, to make a return for the second half of the season. And it was feeling good at that point, but not back to normal. And I came back and played the last 5 games of the regular season, our first playoff game, where we lost to the Water Dogs there. And then the plan always was, let's get another MRI at the end of the season, get that picture taken. And the doc's like, so it got quite a bit worse, Brad. The cartilage in between those two cracks is now gone and floating around in your knee. So we do have to fix this now. So I guess either way, they were going to have to take out the loose body, they call it, the floating cartilage, because that can cause some issues. And then, my lacrosse career, take that out of the question. This is a surgery I was going to need, if I wanted to walk around normally for the rest of my life, or wanted to, coach my kids in the future, or do anything really. So, really no brainer to have the surgery done. So I had some great surgeons out of the Stedman Clinic out in Colorado. They were incredible the entire time. The PLL for hooking that up, that was awesome. Great experience. They flew my mom and I out, so we got to hang out in a hotel room in Colorado together for a week and a half. And yeah, I mean, that's about it. Yeah, and then a long road, about a year to recover from the surgery.
When you were playing on that injury, was it harder physically or mentally to play on it?
Definitely mentally. Like I wore a brace, and it was very padded up, so I didn't really think there was much more in terms of damage I can do. Now, of course, probably made the cartilage defect where it was all messed up, probably made that a little bigger from playing on it. But it was the mental part, definitely. Like that sensation, it's hard to describe and put into words, but when your leg shuts off and you just can't control it, like you're used to not even thinking about, all right, I'm going to pick my leg up to take my next stride while I'm running. And when you're trying to do that and your body just physically can't do it, it's a weird experience. So the mental hurdle was definitely bigger. And I think like the knee's strong now. It feels great. I can, run full speed, can cut at full speed. And like the mental hurdle now at this point, that's still the only thing to get past. But as soon as you put on the pads, man, you're just playing. So you're not thinking
riding a bike
on your body or how you're feeling or anything. You're just playing, you're reacting and doing what you love. So that's easy.
I completely agree with you when it comes to the mental aspect of injuries, bro. Because my worst injury in college was spraining my ankle. Not even close to what you're doing, what you did. But to me, that was like, bro, I'm done. Like I did not trust cutting, dodging, or even shooting on it, bro. I had this weird ass hitch when I would lean and put all my pressure on it. Like I would just jump after my shot just to take the pressure off.
Yeah.
And that mental hurdle to get over it and just like not think about it again, it's tough.
Yeah, that's like you think so much, you talk so much about like the physical recovery, but really the mental, you got to spend time trusting, wherever the injury was, like trusting that ankle, trusting that knee, the shoulders, wherever you happen to have, an injury that's not really mentioned a lot, the mental aspect of it, but it's big and it can definitely stop people from fully recovering. So got to sink some time and energy into that too.
So what was the road to recovery like? Where were you doing your training? And you weren't in Colorado the whole time. Like where were you doing your recovery training?
A lot of it was out here in Jersey. My PT's name, Elliot Ludi, he was out of professional PT in Livingston. So I was going to see him 3 times a week for like 2.5 hours each session. He was getting me right. But yeah, that was pretty much it. Like doing PT 3 times a week and then lifting on my own outside. Like the first 6 months after surgery, I was still getting back into putting pressure on the leg. Like I was totally couch and bedridden for 6 weeks, no pressure at all. And then gradually over the course of the next month or so, getting into putting weight on it, walking with crutches, and eventually losing the crutches and getting back into like strength building. So that was probably the longest portion. It's really all lifting. You're not putting any pressure through the leg aside from, squats or split squats, like no running, jumping or anything like that. So was doing that for probably 4 or 5 months or so. And then once you can build the strength back up in your knee, like you exert a lot more energy and pressure through the joint jumping or even running than you do like in a classic back squat. So you got to work up to the point where you have enough strength in the leg to trust it to jump or trust it to start running and jogging. And then once I got to the running point, I was about 6 months out from surgery, then that's when I started to become probably a better person to be around and was less cranky and everything, because I could get out of the house, get out of the weight room and start actually like running around. And it felt a little bit better. Like you're actually making real strides, because then you're like, all right, we're out of sitting down and doing abs for 2 hours every day. Now I can start really ramping up and gaining the trust back that we were talking about. And then for the past now 7 months here, just been running and cutting, doing agility, ladders, all that sort of stuff to build the trust back.
Let's go. You were picking up. How often were you picking up your stick when you were like, let's say, couch ridden?
Yeah, couch ridden. I always have one close to my bed. It always sits in the corner of my room. So I was probably cradling around in bed for a while. And actually, my my mom got me a PLL whipstakes mini stick for Christmas. So I was playing with that a bunch in the house, driving her crazy for sure.
Damn, that's ugly as hell.
And then once I could stand, the wall became a good friend of mine. So we'd just go over. I have to really try and stay in the same spot. So I was doing a lot of stuff to not move or try and, keep a record going or see how many reps I could do in a row without dropping it, because then I'm like grabbing the crutching up the ball.
Yeah, I gotta get you a Redwoods PLL mini, because that's where I need to see you, bro. I'm trying to help my boys out, bro. I need you. I need you, bro. But
you'll have to have a conversation with Stags about that one.
I'm gonna let you rock. I know Stags is a genius, so I'm gonna let you guys rock there. But yeah, so you live around the Curse. Do you ever get some training with them?
Oh yeah, all the time. Like Connor, Cole, Colin, they all live two blocks up from me, so I'll see them all the time. Connor and Cole are in the NLL seasons now, so I'll see them a little bit less. They're traveling all the time, flying all over Canada, and got practices and everything. But always shooting on Colin and getting together with the guys anytime I can. I'm like wondering if I've been shooting on him too much. I'm like, I'm gonna be facing this kid, like shooting on him during the game. Like, have I shown him too much of my release? Is he gonna have a leg up on me come game time? But
he's gonna read you. He's gonna read you like a book, bro. Shooting on him like that. But he won't be reading you like a book if you keep on shooting on goalies like this. Okay, if you shoot on him like this,
what'd you see here, Ryan?
Yeah, you could see Ahmed come in. Actually, it was helmet to helmet contact.
The dunk.
I doubt he'll be able to stop that, bro. Point blank, period.
Yeah, I'll just run at him and then dunk the ball over him. He can't save that. What's he gonna do then?
Exactly, man. I don't think anybody's stopping that. But that was your last outing, right? The Champ Series 2 years ago?
Yeah, like I played half that next season, but the Champ Series was really the last like full go with the Whips.
With it. And then so I actually think it's like very advantageous for you to come back to the Champ Series, because I feel like the Champ Series is like a great proving ground.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you're right. Like coming back to the Champ Series, it's not the full field, but it's a lot faster. It's a lot more up and down. So if there was a time to test the knee out, I think this is the time to go. Like the knee, and then also how in shape and the wind, the endurance, how all that stuff's come back to me too. But yeah, it's a great format to get back into it, and you're still playing for a championship, so of course you want to win as many games as you can, but it's not quite the the PLL regular season, so it's a little shorter time frame, and I'm not like that was kind of the concern a little bit with the timing of the surgery. Like I ended up having it in December, but started like conversations and figured out what was wrong right after our season ended in September. So then I would have been, flirting with, okay, can I maybe get back for the summer season? And ultimately decided like there's no need to rush this. Let's give it a full year and a half and can come back for the Champ Series here now in 2025. So I think it'll be a great way to get back into it and see how the knee holds up.
Absolutely. I feel like sixes is so similar to basketball. You played basketball in high school, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's like the same thing. What do you say?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's why I like the sixes game a lot. It can't replace, regular field, but I'm a huge fan of sixes. And I think a lot of it comes from my love for hoops. Like the game flows like a basketball game. You really got to be an all-around player. You can get exposed in this kind of format because you're not always going to have the chance to sub. So if you're out there playing offense, like there's going to be a scenario where you're back on defense and you got to cover two. And then there's so much transition. I love the freedom you get in transition and getting to exploit teams when they're, not ready or not expecting you to. So all that stuff translates so well over from basketball. And yeah, it's just a fun version of the game to play. How do you like it compared to field?
I love it, man. My problem with sixes, though, would be if I was playing, I think I'd have the green light every time I'm on my half of the field.
You would.
I'm swollen, bro. Every shot looks good.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Like you take a couple steps over the midfield line, and like you're kind of getting close to in range at that point. Like you always feel like you can let one go, and it's a pretty good take.
See, I've never seen a shot I didn't really like, so that's why I'm like, I'm pulling, bro.
Yeah.
But my team might be mad at me because I'm missing the cage and it's going the other way.
Yeah, so you got to make sure you're getting that on net or get it to the pipes somehow. Yeah, because that's another big thing. Yeah, not having those like taking down the alley shots that miss the cage because you're shooting for a corner. Like you really need to make sure if you're taking a shot, you're getting it at least on cage. So
absolutely,
not a turnover.
Now you're on the whip snakes. Now this is I didn't have this question on the notepad, but
oh boy,
we're talking about basketball. Who on the whip snakes is the best basketball player?
Oh, that's a good question. I have not played basketball with really anybody. I would have said Mike Earhart if he was not retired right now. I have played basketball with him. He is a good basketball player. And this is, from word of mouth, but I would say I think Conrad.
Really?
Yeah, I know he's a stud athlete. He, I think, was player of the year in soccer back in the day or something, and was a good basketball player in high school too. Who am I forgetting? Like, I don't know that Krebs ever played basketball, but he's got the frame a little bit.
Yeah, he does. I see that.
Matt Dunn too. Like, I would hope with that size, Matt was playing basketball, but I don't know that he did.
Well, any one of them, don't let me catch them under the rim, bro, because it's on their head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
I can tell you who wouldn't be a good basketball player, and that's Matt Rambo. I crossed him 3 ways from Tuesday.
I knew that was coming, bro. Yeah, I don't think Rambo's a basketball player, but hey, he might be a shooter. He might be a shooter, or he
could be.
But you played 3 sports in high school.
Yep, football, basketball, lacrosse. Yeah.
All right. Don't act like that's hard because your boy did it himself. So, no big deal. But if we always have this debate on Stick Talk. What sport transfers best to lacrosse? And you were a quarterback too, and one of the key things for you that people always talk about is your versatility. So wait, I'll let you think about it, but let's just see your versatility and what this broadcaster said about your versatility.
Yeah, Brad Smith brings a lot of versatility, can play midfield, can play attack, just shrugs off that cross check to the neck.
All right, I gave you 9 seconds to think about it while watching a highlight of yourself. So
my answer is basketball.
Yeah.
I think first, like we kind of went through like the flow of the game. That's a big part of it. And I probably am looking in a lens of like my lacrosse game, the way I play, the position I play, midfield, having to play offense and defense. But I think all the principles from like help defense, zone defense, doubling guys in the corner, any like press man, if you're on a 10-man ride, it's the same as like a full court press almost. Like all those principles are directly, correlated in lacrosse. So when I when I think about like athletic IQ, and our Duke coaches loved guys that played multiple sports because you develop this athletic IQ from playing all these other sports. I think I learned the most from basketball. Like learned a ton about being on a team and camaraderie and how important, all your teammates are from football, but direct translation to lacrosse, I think it's gotta be basketball.
I agree. I give you, I 100% agree with that. Some people have an argument for hockey, but I agree with basketball.
I could, yeah. Hockey, I would accept as well. I guess with the hands.
Yeah,
You can always tell a lacrosse player that plays hockey by the way they like hold their stick, cradle, throw, shoot, everything.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That guy definitely plays hockey.
Yeah, and I definitely wasn't one of those guys.
Yeah, me neither.
So you are on the Whip Snakes. You've been on, and one of the guys who had trust in you from day one was Stags, right? Stags is one of the biggest personalities in the PLL, and I'm trying to get an inside look on it. What is Stags like?
He'll be the first to tell you this too, but he's sarcastic is the first thing that comes to mind. He loves to rag on guys for whatever it happens to be, on the field, off the field, everything. He's just got some witty, snarky remark to make. To a lot of times it'll lighten up the mood. A lot of times it'll be like, is he kidding? Like I can't tell anymore. Does he really think that of me? But yeah, sarcastic is the first one that comes to mind. But yeah, Stags has been a huge help for me, adjusting to the PLL early on. And there have been plenty of times where he's had the utmost trust and faith in me as a player and a person to bring into the locker room. Like after the whole first year, I didn't play at all. No lacrosse that first season in the PLL. And he brings me into a shrunken down roster for the bubble series that one season without me having played at all in a year and a half. So I think that shows a lot of trust. Like it's not like you're picking the roster for one game and you'll get to reset it the next week. Like that was it. Once you set the roster, like that was the done deal for the entire tournament. So I think that showed a lot of faith. And then, this injury definitely too. Like couple of weeks after surgery, he calls me on the phone. He's like, "Hey, how'd it go? Like, wanted to hear about recovery and everything." And he's like, "All right, so we want to re-sign you." I was like, "What? The kid that just got his knee fixed? Like, you want to re-sign? Okay, like, all right, let's talk about it." But I'm like, "All right," I was not expecting that conversation to come. But yeah, Stags has been great, man. He's always been a huge supporter of mine, and I'm grateful for everything he's done for me.
Yeah, he seems like a hell of a guy. Every time I see him, he seems like a pretty stand-up guy.
Yeah.
But I know he's about to say something also. Say something pretty witty.
Always.
And that is crazy that he called you like after your injury and everything, giving you a contract and like that. But I'm sure there were some low points in your recovery process. But while you were recovering, what kept you motivated?
Good question. I think it was the chance to get back and play. Injuries are a part of sports. I think any athlete that can get through their entire life with no injury is the luckiest person in the world. Like, unfortunately, that's the hard truth, but everybody in sports is going to have something happen at some point. And I'm still playing because I love being in the locker room. I love competing. I love the sport of lacrosse. So whatever I need to do to get back to doing that, I'll take care of it. I'll get it done. And if it's the 6 a.m. wake ups on Saturday morning to get to PT, like I'm in. I'll get through it. It is a long and dark road at times, but as long as you can kind of keep that in the back of your mind, that like what you're working for and what you're working to, it'll keep you motivated, and you'll have the energy and the ambition to get back to form.
I like that. So last thing about your injury. What would you say? You had a lot of time by yourself. What would you say you learned about yourself during this long ass time off? Damn, dude, I'm hitting you with the
you asked me the
bro.
deep questions here. What did I learn about myself? I learned a lot about my knee, like medically. But
Yeah, yo, you sound.
I know that's like
Like
not
a
really
doctor when you're talking about this cadaver and stuff.
Yeah, the surgery was called an osteochondral allograft for those medical listeners.
I'm gonna act like I know what that means.
Yeah, I don't really even know what it means, but I guess I learned like how much the sport of lacrosse means to me. Like as soon as I could get up on 2 feet, I was back out coaching kids. Like it was just a way to get close to the game. Like if I couldn't play myself, I still wanted to either watch people do it or, help some of the young guns in the area improve. That was probably the main thing. Like, and that was the motivation to get back. Like it probably could have taken me a lot longer to get back to 100% here. If I didn't have something to work back to or something that was motivating me to recover. So,
I mean, you might be undershooting yourself here, bro, because when we speak about resilience, this right here is the epitome of resilience, bro. You were hurt for so long, and you just told me you did 3 days a week of 2.5 hours of therapy or rehab. Do you understand the amount of time commitment you put into this to recover and play into your get or come back into the PLL?
Yeah.
And let's not act like you're just a person playing a sport. Like you have a whole life, right? And you put in all this work, and look at you now, bro. Like, shoot, I sprained my ankle. I was like, yo, I might be done walking, right? And meanwhile, you do that, you tear up your knee, and you put in all this work to come back, and that's remarkable, bro.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate that, man.
See,
I mean, for the love of sports, like not even just lacrosse. Like I wanted to get back to playing basketball, football, whatever it happens to be. Like I think you realize what you take for granted and the ability to just walk outside your door and go on a run. Like you don't always have that ability. So it also, the injury, like made me realize how important recovery and like warming up is. Cause I'll spend maybe before the injury, it was about 10, 15 minutes stretching. And it was my least favorite part of every practice or every game was like getting warmed up. And now I'm like 45 minutes warm up every single time I get to the field, like really taking care of that stuff, stretching after, icing, yoga, like getting into all that stuff. Cause getting old now, not quite 30 yet, but
this is where it goes all downhill, bro. This is where it goes all downhill.
Yeah.
Dog, I'm like the same way. Like I hate the warm up and everything, but if I step the wrong way, my ankle hurts for the rest of the day, or my knee hurts.
You gotta warm everything up. Like you never really consider how important it is until something like this happens, and you're like, all right, maybe if I stretched a little bit more, it wouldn't have happened. And you'll never know the answer to that question, but you feel better, and it takes you less time to recover to the next day if you're warmed up enough. So yeah, I take a lot of pride and time in warm-ups before and recovery. Yeah.
So I wish I had this knowledge way back, because when I was coaching high school lacrosse, me being a hardo coach, I told my team if I beat them in a sprint, they got to run twice as much.
You get the hammy or something?
Bro, I popped the hammy at the 50-yard line, bro. I took it like a champ, but I popped the hamstring before.
You finished the run?
Absolutely not. I walked it off, though. I walked it off, dog. I walked it off. Bro, that's the most pain I felt in a minute. And I was like, yeah, you're done, bro. So that was like a 9-week recovery. But now we know all about stretching and all of it, brother. But That's all I got for today. Actually, not yet. Actually, when are you throwing back that mustache, bro? Are you gonna ever do it? That mustache was remarkable, bro. It was.
Thank you. That is the pride and joy of my life. The coolest thing I've ever done. Grow that mustache, and yeah, it might come back. I always have it in the month of November because we're always raising money for the Movember Foundation. But who knows? Maybe we'll keep it past November and let it rage for a little bit after.
Let's go, bro. You should trademark the mustache, like how Anthony Davis did the unibrow.
Yeah,
you should do that.
I should.
That's it. All right, Brad. Well, I appreciate you joining us, man. I'm rooting for you guys. I'm rooting for you. Maybe not the Whip Snakes, but I'm rooting for you during the Champ Series.
You gotta be your team, Scotty.
My team's not even gonna be there, bro. So I can't even.
Saying, you need a team for the Champ Series? We're right here.
All right. Let me think about it for a little bit. But once again, brother, appreciate you joining. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Scotty. Always good catching up, man.